Hey there, my name is Megi, I come from Albania, I am 21 years old and I'm applying to be a language instructor or teacher for English in your language school. This video is going to be about my demo classroom, so how would I organize one of my lessons with the pupils or the students of the school. I would like to start with saying a little bit of what my objectives for each class would be. So in general, what I want from every classroom that I teach, every level of student, is for them to come to the English lesson with passion, with fun, with excitement, and looking forward to it, because the way that I'm going to organize my classes is not going to be the usual boring way of organizing lessons in school, where you as a pupil only get to hear what the teacher is saying. Okay, here you have in the blackboard, these are the new words that you have to learn, this is the new grammar, learn it, study it, and next time I'm going to exam you or ask you what you have studied at home. Completely different. I want my classes to be interactive, to be fun, for pupils to get engaged, to ask questions, and one of the most important things that I want for my classes is for pupils to be inspired to learn English even when they are not in my class. So pupils to really do that research after my classes. If we learned, let's say, 10 new words today that are connected to the environment, I want them to go home and when they do the homework to be inspired and excited to search for new words in the internet so that they can expand their vocabulary and they can really see English as something that yes, it's a subject, but it can be fun. So these are my objectives in general for every class, and these are my objectives as a teacher. There are a couple of, let's say, supposals that I have done for the sake of this video. So let's say I don't have the age of the students that I'm going to teach to, but for this exact video I have supposed that the level of the students is elementary. They are not basic, so they are not starting English, but again they're not in an intermediate or upper intermediate level. And the second supposal that I have done is that this is not the first time that I meet them. Why? Because in the first class that I would organize with each group of students, I would prefer to spend the first lesson not exactly teaching them something so important, like going straight into learning environment, but I would like to use the first lesson as a space to get to know each other better, for them to get to know me, my culture a little bit, me to get to know them, because it's important to create that trust, that bond between the student and the teacher, so that every class after that they feel comfortable in the English class. That's why I didn't choose to demonstrate the first touch point with the students, but somewhere more in the middle of my experience, let's say. And the topic that I have chosen for this lesson is our classroom. Our classroom as a space, as a room. And there are three objectives that I have put for this exact lesson. First one is for all the students to learn the vocabulary words regarding the classroom, so each object in the classroom. Second one, very important when describing a room, and in specific the classroom, is to know the prepositions of place. So on, in front of, behind, left, right. And the third one is for them to be able to be a bit more independent and to work with a specific topic that I give them in order for them to describe every room that they can encounter. So these are the 3 objectives that I have for the specific class. So by the end of the lesson, they should be able to know the objects that are in the classroom, know how to name them, how to make the difference between the objects. The second one is to know prepositions of place, and the third one is to be able to describe good different rooms. How would I organize the lesson? In the first 5 minutes, I would ask them if they have any question from the previous lesson, if they have any question regarding the homeworks that they had. If they have any question, I would address the questions. If they don't have any questions, I will make a short wrap-up of the previous lesson and how the previous lesson gets us to the current lesson that we will do today. So what is the connection between, let's say, colors that we did in the previous lesson and in this lesson that we are going to see rooms and in specific classrooms. So that is the 5 first minutes. And then in the next 10 minutes I have prepared an activity that is very easy. It's called the post-it activity, using the post-it notes, the ones that have the sticky part. And what I have done is that I have written in, I don't know if you can see, okay, here maybe. So I have written in these post-its different words that are objects in the classroom. So for example, I have table, I have floor, window, plants, if we have plants in the classroom, blackboard, notebook, and then chalk, wall, or clock. So random objects that are found in pretty much every classroom. And what I will do in the beginning of the class, I would ask some of the students to get up and stick, for example, the sticky note that says table onto the table. The sticky notes that says chalk into the chalk, the blackboard onto the blackboard. And this would be the first 5 minutes of the activity. So they get to know exactly what each word means, which object is each word. Then I will randomly pick a word, let's say window, and one student has to pick up the sticky note and bring it to me. So this is for the purpose of remembering the new words twice. So first I explain, okay, this is the window, this is the table, this is the blackboard, but then they have to make the act of memorizing the word and bring the right sticky note back to me. And in total this activity will take 10 minutes, depending on how many objects I can find in the classroom. And the sticky notes I would have prepared previously. And then comes the part of understanding the preposition of places, or place prepositions. So on, under, in front of, behind. They need to be able to clarify where an object is. So for example, the blackboard is in front of the students but behind the teacher. So they need to make this difference visible and understandable through their sentences. And in the beginning, I will be the one giving an example to them. For example, let's say we have this. Okay, and I have a coin. If I say on, it would be here. If I say in, it would be inside. If I say under, it would be here, left, right, in front of, and behind. So right now I don't have a box, a square box, but a box would work much better because I can also place exactly on the coin that I just took. So if I was in a classroom and I didn't have much materials, or let's say that I forgot to bring it from home, then I would just use a chalk and the table. So the chalk can be on the table, can be under the table, left, front, right, in front, and behind. So 2 minutes I would spend to give them examples so that they understand what is in, what is on, what is in front, and what is besides every object. Because in the end they need to be able to position every object. After the examples that I would give them an exercise for them to fill the right preposition. I will submit together with the video a set of exercises which they will do in the class in the next 5 to 10 minutes after I explain this, where they have a picture and they have a sentence that has a gap and they have to fill what is the right preposition. Let's say the picture is this. They have to fill in on, because the sentence will be, okay, the coin is blank notebook. They have to say on the notebook. So this type of exercise for them to practice with the prepositions. And then we would have some adjectives like clean and dirty, big, small, dark, light. These 6 adjectives they need to learn in order to describe better a room. Very important part of describing a room is the colors. So the sticky note is pink, the pen is brown, stuff like this. They need to know the colors. And for this class, I'm assuming that they already know the colors, because in general, colors are some of the most basic stuff that you teach to someone that starts learning English. And the things that I'm discussing today are a bit more advanced than colors, so I'm assuming that we have already taught them colors. So for the colors, I want to do a game, since we already did an exercise and a bit of theory. So the game is very simple. It will only take us maximum 5 minutes, because there are not so many colors that they need to know right now. So only the basic pink, brown, blue, gray, black. And depending on how many students I have, but up to 20-25 is totally manageable, they need to be able to touch an object of the color that I say. So let's say that I'm gonna say, on a count of 3, touch something that is pink. And they will have to find something in the classroom that is pink. Now, it doesn't matter if for some colors they completely don't have. Usually it doesn't happen. Usually you can find in your clothes all the colors, or in the clothes of someone else. But even in the moment that they don't find any color, any specific object of that color, at least they will be reminded of what the color is by the teacher or by some pupil that knows that color. And a good way to remember colors is also to associate them with one specific fruit. For example, we would say, let's say that we don't have yellow in the classroom, but we can say, okay, what is yellow? Banana. And banana they know. Or what is green? You can say an apple, and they would know. This for them to revise the colors, and in total this activity doesn't take more than 5 minutes. In the occasion that I have more pupils, 30 or more, maybe depending on the classroom, it's not very easy for them to move. So in that case, either I would find another activity with colors, or I would just give them a sheet with different blocks of colors, and they would have to write the color name besides picture or block of color. But best case scenario would be with the game, because it energizes them and it makes the class a bit more fun, because they have to move around and you have that element of deadline. Okay, in the count of 3 you have to find this color. After they have revised the colors, I would move on to giving them a homework. And the homework, since in the class we described the classroom, it would be that at home they have to describe their own bedroom. Now they have a lot of information from the classroom. They have the colors, they have the adjectives, big, small, dark, light, dirty, clean. They have the propositions, so in front of this, behind this, to the left, to the right. They have learned in this class, but also they might have objects in their room which they don't know, and that's okay, because they can make the research at home. They can work with a vocabulary, they can search on Google which how to say this exact object in English, and that is good because that makes them more independent and not so rigid into only studying what we are given in the class. And that's also one of my objectives for my English class, to get the pupils to really understand that you can learn English even after the English class in the course or in the school. And that is one of the best ways to learn English, if you practice it outside of the class and if you really engage in discovering new things about English words after the class. And in the next 5 minutes, I would do a wrap-up of everything that we learned today, and I would leave the space if they have questions about words, about propositions, something that they didn't understand. And that's the plan that I have made for my class. In general, it takes 45 minutes with the agenda that I did, because in Albania that's how much one lesson its duration is, but I don't know, I can adjust, of course, depending to how much time I should teach in your language course. So yeah, as I said, this video is going to be submitted together with the exercises sheet for the propositions of places, and I hope that you enjoyed my class. I'm sure that I have lots to improve and to learn during my experience. I'm open to any kind of feedback so that I can improve my way of planning a class even before I arrive, and I really hope to be selected. Thank you for watching my video and hope to see you soon. Bye.